What's up, y'all? We are live now on the Cover 3 YouTube channel. Pretty excited here to be with you all today. Another really nice winning week for us on Bud's Bets. And let's just go ahead and get right into this thing. We'll kind of explain what we do here. And if I seem a little disjointed, that's because, of course, we are actually trying to move some action out here. And, we'll get through all this stuff. I will go back and add timestamps if you want me to later this evening, most likely. And if you missed anything, you can go ahead and tell us about it right then and go back and watch it. All right, so this is Bud's Bets, the early line show. What we do is we try to get early value on games. We know that if you're somebody who doesn't need to bet, more than a couple $1,000 per game because you're not doing this for a living, you're just trying to buy the wife a nice bag or the kids some Christmas presents or whatever. And you're somebody who bets a couple hundred, maybe to a couple thousand, but not anything crazy per game. In my opinion, there's really no need to wait, right? Go ahead and fire now and get the best of the number and see it move. Last week we went 17-13 on show bets. So, hey, that's profit. I had a couple really kind of frustrating bad beats, to be honest. Ohio getting punched in late. That sucked. It messed up our push with Akron plus 10. Obviously, Oklahoma State punched in a touchdown when it was just trying to round out the clock. So our Baylor plus 4.5 got killed. And then BYU and Utah State, they both lost their quarterbacks in game. Not great if you bet the over there. Army, I still don't know exactly what happened, but that was the number that we got, minus 4.5 on the live show, and it absolutely killed it. So, and then Army ends up losing outright, but still 17-13, pretty solid there. Obviously, if I add any bets post show, it'll be in the Bud's Bets column. Bud's Bets column has been doing really, really well against the spread numbers. 102 and 72 on the year. Guys, I really don't think this is gonna last. Like when you bet as much volume as I do, when you give as many picks on games as I do, you're not gonna hit 59% most likely. But I have had years that are close. So maybe it stays hot. Maybe it dries up. We'll let a couple more people get into the chat here. Excuse me. I just making sure I check our numbers for how many folks are watching. And anyway, yeah, I should probably turn off my speakers. Nice job, bud. Okay, we're getting some people jumping in here, and we will be breaking in to some of these things. All right, let's go ahead and hit some stuff that I am already taking right now. Are you all ready for this? By the way, I find the best number at OddsJam, oddsjam.com. Helps me really pick a game. I isolate the exact right number that I can get, the best number at all the U.S. legal sports books and even some of the offshores. If you guys are into that, maybe y'all are in international waters, right? Or in a foreign country where you can use those offshores. And oddsjam.com, promo code BUDE21. That's BUDE21. We'll get you a nice discount on that if you want. And I mean, from my perspective, it pays for itself if you find a better number on just a couple bets a month, which obviously you will. So, first game that I want to hit here, and maybe I'm missing something about this, but I do show a decent edge. I am taking Virginia plus the 3 and over 65.5. This is kind of like what I did with Pitt last week, right? Pitt, I said take Pitt minus the 3 and take Pitt over whatever it was, I think 58 or whatever. And I mean, that basically was done by the end of the first half. I think Virginia is very live in this game. I think we have that number right now at Circa and FanDuel. Obviously, a lot of y'all don't have access to Circa because it's Colorado and Vegas only. But I feel like if it's at one of the major U.S. books, it's fair game for the show, right? Anyway, so that's one that I am taking right now. The next one that I really want to take here is South Alabama. South Alabama played pretty well this weekend. I'm going to take South Alabama at a pick'em at Texas State. That's across the board pick from what I can tell here. So South Alabama pick'em at Texas State. I just think they can play with Texas State. I make them a 3.4-point favorite on the road. So getting them pick'em, something under a field goal here is nice value. All right, with those couple out of the way, I've taken a few others, but we'll go ahead and get to those in a second because it doesn't look like they're moving, um, you know, right now. Um, and look, guys, I'm not really going to answer questions about the offshores. If you know, right? Maybe some people in the chat will be kind enough to let you all in on that. Another one that I am taking, by the way, is under in Temple, Cincinnati. And I'm also taking Temple plus the 28.5 at Cincinnati. Here's the reason. I'm not really into all like, oh, it's a flat spot thing, but I do think that this is legitimately a flat spot. And I think in a flat game here, getting under 55, getting plus 28.5, I'll probably play the first half here as well. I just think, like, not that I don't trust Cincinnati's offense. Temple's improved a little bit. I think they can move the ball for a couple first downs and then probably not score a whole lot against Cincinnati. To me, that just stood out as some nice value. All right. That one's not doing anything right now. Obviously, nothing there on that. Cool. Give me a second here. And by the way, if you guys are new to the show, sometimes I do look down. I got to answer a text or two. But we'll get through all the games. Cool. All right. Next here, I'm going to play, and I know this is kind of crazy, but I'm going to play under on Coastal Carolina and Arkansas State at 72. I like the under there. I would play it down to 71, actually. And that's not a ton of points, but that's what you get. Here's my thought on this, right? Grayson McCall could be a little bit dinged up. Arkansas State is not a good run defense. So while that could suggest that Coastal will score a whole lot of points, to me, it also suggests that Coastal can run the ball and run out the clock in this game. So that's kind of what my thoughts are on that one. Cool. And we already hit that on the show. What else do you guys want to hit right now? Huh. I actually I qualified for my golf club's match play championship, despite the fact that I have a torn labrum and was +9 net. So apparently we didn't have a whole lot of people sign up for that. That's cool. I'm going to get absolutely smoked. All right. So let's go ahead and get on some more of these games. Let's talk Houston, Tulane real fast and just get these Thursday night games out of the way. Houston, Tulane, I think the number's spot on, so it's going to be a pass for me. As far as the total, if I can get like a 65, I would play that to the under. I would also consider playing 64 to the under there. I do think that Houston's defense is actually pretty underrated. Doug Belk is doing a nice job there. So, yeah, that's something that I'm seeing there. What else do we have? By the way, I see you guys getting on and popping some of these offshores. Look at that. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm driving this, but Cincinnati already down to 53.5 from 55, and Temple already took that half point as well. Coastal Arkansas State also down. It doesn't really take that much money to move these lines early in the week. So I figure if you got a couple hundred people watching this live and they're each throwing a couple $100 on the bets, then that's kind of what you get there. Somebody's betting Coastal. I'm with the quarterback uncertainty there. I'm not really wanting to do that. My number says to bet Coastal at 20 or less, but I'm just not going to do it. If it drops down to 17, I'll be the sucker and do it. Let's go ahead and go to the final Friday night game. So Stanford and Arizona State. I made this number 10. So currently the number is, 9.5, and over under is 52.5. I actually think, yeah, I'm going to take a little shot on that. I'm going to go ahead and take that under 53.5 in Stanford, Arizona State. I just think it's worth a shot here to play that. So give me that U 53.5 on that, and I would expect that would move kind of fairly quickly, I would think. Let's talk next coming out here. Florida State, North Carolina. This number to me at 17 is pretty spot on. If this got down to 2 touchdowns, I would be playing North Carolina. I think the over-under at 64 is roughly appropriate, in my opinion. Now, if it got down to like 61, I would pop the over, but that's kind of my buy point there. Anyway, I don't really trust this Florida State team against a team in North Carolina that can actually chuck the ball around, right? So just noting that. Cool. What else do we have going on here? All right, let's go Michigan State and Rutgers. I just took Michigan State minus the 3 at Rutgers, minus 116. I like that there a lot. That should move quite a bit. And as far as the total on that game, I make it, 50.5. So that's going to be a no play for me there. Let's talk Uconn and Umass. For me, that's a pass at one aside. Just not something that I really want to bet. But you could talk me into betting UMass. I've been on Uconn recently and won with them. I'm just not looking to be on them right this second. So, damn, getting some solid movement here out of some of these games so far today. I'm liking it. All right. Go ahead and mark that we've already talked about these. What else do we have coming up here? Excuse me. Let me go ahead and X out of that. All right. So some people want to know about Charlotte and FIU. Honestly, like I could be talked into FIU here. There's some plus 4.5 out there. I think that's the move ultimately. Yeah. DraftKings hung 4.5. I think FanDuel, are they 4.5 too? Let's look here on oddsjam.com. Yeah, 4.5. All right, I will go ahead and take the 4.5 with FIU. I don't like Charlotte having to go on the road in back-to-back weeks. So, yeah. That's just kind of my opinion there on that. What else do we have going on? Man, Michigan State Rutgers looks like it's getting the totals sitting there doing nothing. All right, what's another game that we can go ahead and discuss? Let's talk Wake Cuse. This is about to open in the offshores, and I'm pretty curious to see how this goes. Right, I've seen some onshore books open Cuse +7. I am tempted to take Cuse +7, but I really don't trust. I think against better quarterbacks, you're going to see some problems for Syracuse's defense. Like, I think that's a good defense, but who are the best quarterbacks they've played? Noah Verdell of Rutgers. They've played Malik Willis, but if you've watched Liberty this year, there's not much going on outside of Willis. He's kind of a one-man band, and they had to run him all over the place. Sam Hartman is legitimately pretty good, in my opinion. And, I'm interested to see what they do there with him. I got to watch Syracuse a good bit this weekend. I really don't trust that offense. So this is one of those situations where my numbers tell me I should be betting Syracuse +7, but I'm just not, right? I'm probably going to pass, and we'll see. Maybe I'll end up playing a Wake team total here. That could be something that I'd be interested in, especially if you get something, under 30-ish. That would be interesting to me there. But yeah, that's I know guys who I respect who are on Syracuse +7. They've already bet it, and they think they could wait and that number could go higher, but I'm just not going to do it right now. I'm not into that. All right, what else do we have? What's going to be next to pop up? And the next one we're going to be on that we will discuss is East Carolina and Central Florida. East Carolina, UCF. UCF obviously is without Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback, and we'll see kind of how that continues to go. They did lose a tough one at Navy. I am looking for a number here that is basically like UCF closer to a touchdown. I would play East Carolina something north of 2 touchdowns. If I could, I would probably take 2 touchdowns as well and just bite the bullet and do it. ECU, their offense for the most part scares me. Now, granted, they did hit the over last weekend. They do play with some pace. I wonder if I've adjusted this number around enough for the total. But yeah, that should be coming out soon. On the offshore side, UCF minus 9.5 seems fair. I'm going to go ahead and pop some of that just because I feel like UCF will play better at home. And yeah, let's go ahead and buy that up. UCF minus that 9.5. Not seeing a total on that yet at some of the offshores, but some of the onshores have hung 68, I think. I just saw a 70 pop on my screen. Your results may vary there. Yeah, UCF minus 9.5. I feel like I've adjusted them down enough. Maybe I haven't. We will see. All right. The next one coming up should be Maryland and Ohio State. Let me see. That Texas +3. People want to know about Texas +3. Well, guess what I'm going to be doing with that? I'm probably going to bet Oklahoma. Yeah. Where are you guys seeing the +3 out there? I am currently looking for that one in the chat. If you let me know where you see that flat 3 on Oklahoma, I'm certainly interested in that. Curious. Where is? Oh yeah, I didn't see I didn't see an Oklahoma and a flat 3 there, but that'll be interesting. All right, let's go ahead and they should be dropping a couple more here in a second. I try to kind of go by the offshore order here because I know a lot of y'all may or may not be in states where it's legal to fire. That weight Q's total just keeps dipping down just ever so slightly. Interesting. What did I make? Maryland, Ohio State. So I am looking to bet Maryland in this game, believe it or not. Basically anything kind of close to 24 if it gets there. I think Maryland can probably score on Ohio State better than it can on Iowa. But if you give me something north of 3 touchdowns, I'll probably bite. The total here is something that I'm also looking into. I actually think my numbers say to play this under when it comes out, and I will, but it does scare me a little bit, right? It's 69 at a lot of these other spots. We'll see. Do you trust Maryland's defense at all? Do you think Maryland's just going to keep firing? They could. Ohio State's defense did look better yesterday, but again, it's Rutgers, and Rutgers is just their offense is hot garbage, like we've discussed on this show many, many times. All right, let's go ahead and cover Georgia-Auburn, okay? Georgia-Auburn currently sits at 14.5 at all the offshores. And guess what? That's a no play for me right now. I do give Auburn an extra half point of home field advantage in this game. I think that's a big time crowd, big time stadium. And the total is literally exactly what I made it. I made it 45.5, and it's 45. So for me, that's a no play. Penn State, Iowa. So I am actually looking to take Penn State here if it ever hits the 3. But so far, I have not seen any 3s pop up. If people really fall in love with Iowa and they bet Iowa up, I will take Penn State plus a 3. I just don't love Penn State catching under a field goal right here. Just no buy for me. As far as the total, I made it 53.5, so it's 42.5. That's really not anything I'm going to get involved with at this point. Just not something that's going to show value on my screen. Did any of y'all take anything in Auburn and also Iowa? If I did have to bet that game, by the way, the Georgia Auburn game, I would likely be looking to take some sort of first half under in that thing. I think that's possible. Oh, Jerry just got Penn State plus 3 on Fox Bet. Oh, let me see if I pop that. If I'm seeing a couple more here, I don't want to just give completely rogue numbers, obviously. Nice, Jared. That is a good get. And then some people are getting Iowa plus 3. Or excuse me, Iowa minus 1.5. That's pretty solid. All right, we're waiting on a couple more to pop here. Why? I don't know why people are betting the hell out of UConn, but I guess they are. It is what it is. All right, so we have it's going to be an interesting total here when this opens. Maryland, Ohio State coming out. The next one too that we're going to be looking at is Akron, Bowling Green. I do show a little bit of value here, but I'm going to wait on that. Oh man, they opened Maryland, Ohio State total at 67. So I'm not going to play that under just yet. As I said, I will probably play an under in this game, but I think that's going to get bet up pretty good because people saw what Ohio State's offense did yesterday, and they obviously know Maryland wants to play totally wide open football. So I'm just going to sit tight on that, and yeah. All right, let's go. What else do we have here? All right, so Akron, Bowling Green. I think this number is pretty good. The total is not something I want to be involved with. I made it 45. It actually came out exactly 45. Akron's a bad team. They didn't cover again over the weekend. Bowling Green is an improved defensive team. However, I do not trust Bowling Green to cover big numbers at all. Hopefully somebody hangs a 14 out there for me. I'll be looking on oddsjam.com, promo code BUDDY21 to figure out what I can do with that. But Akron plus 14 is something that I would like to play. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about Arkansas and Ole Miss real fast, right? I don't see any value in this. I made Ole Miss minus 3.5. That's basically what you're seeing out there right now. So for me, it's just going to be a pass. I do think Ole Miss against teams not named Bama, Georgia, has the ability to score. I think Arkansas can move the football and run the ball on that Ole Miss defense, but just no real play for me at this time. Let's take Alabama and also take a look at Texas A&M. This line just keeps going up and up and up. It opened 16. It's 17. Seeing some 17.5s out there. Look, I'm going to be kind of interested in Texas A&M, as crazy as that sounds. That's going to be a hostile environment. I think Jimbo will have his team ready to play. So for me, I am curious about taking that. I will probably end up firing in an A&M bet, maybe before the show is over, actually. We will see. We discussed Arizona State. We already discussed Coastal. Awesome. On a list here of stuff that I have to talk about. All right. What's the new one that just popped on my screen? Oh, Akron Bowling Green. Damn, it's getting bet down to 12. I got to stop telling you guys what I want, but I'll wait on that. Obviously, not gonna take 12.5 when I think that could go either way. Bowling Green's an improved team. They've been covering a whole lot, and you know. By the way, I did get retweeted by Lane Kiffin today for giving an analysis of his fourth down math calls and what should be done there, and he was actually 100% correct to do what he did. All right, next one we have coming up here is Northern Illinois, Toledo. That's a game that I'm actually going to play here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire in the under, where are we at here? Excuse me. Under 55.5 for Northern Illinois, Toledo. All right. It's a game that I just think Northern Illinois will not score very much. I trust Toledo's defense to be okay. I think the total, or the side rather, is pretty fair. I could see myself firing in on Northern Illinois if it got, if it got the 2 touchdowns. I would probably consider taking that. But at this point, not something that I really want to move on. Buffalo, Kent State is a game that I have very clearly messed up in my numbers. I don't have time to go back and check right now, but I do have basically a thing here where I take a look at it and I say, okay, this is a spike for me. Like if the edge is just way too different, then I basically assume that there's something wrong with my numbers and I go back and check it later. Just something for me that I do. And when I sent that off to my buddy, he said, "Hey, this can't be right," and he's right. It's almost certainly not. So I'm gonna obviously not fire on something that I suspect is bad. All right, let's go ahead and get back here, and we'll mark that off. Cool. We're about 20 games through, I believe, and we're making it right here. So Nick Jones in the chat asks, what did you make Georgia Tech Duke? So yeah, let's go ahead and just hit this one, right? Georgia Tech Duke is a game here that I actually am betting. So excuse me. Well, actually, I can't get that now, so I'm not going to be giving that out. If Georgia Tech drops below a field goal again, then I will be on that here. But I'm not going to give out stuff on the show that you can't actually get while I'm doing the show. Yeah, Austin, if you're watching, hope you got that actually in the account. That'd be good. Text me if you did. Anyway, but yeah, I want anything a field goal or better there, and at Duke, I'd want 10. So yeah, that's just kind of what I'm looking for. I also will have another play in that game when it comes out, which should be any moment here. Oh, actually, you know what? No. Excuse me here. Sorry about that. All right, got some Georgia Tech Duke minus 2.5, minus 113. All right, here's the other thing I want in that Georgia Tech Duke game. I want the over 57 minus $1.08 here. That is something to me out of hit. I made this a buy point at 59, so anything under 59, I'm buying, or 59 and under, I'm buying. So, yeah, good numbers there for sure. Yeah, that's man, I'm happy about that one. All right, let's go. Ball State, Western Michigan. Ball State, Western Michigan. side looks like it's mostly 10s and 11s and 11.5 in the offshore. I don't really want anything to do with that. But total wise, if this total gets bet up, I will probably be on the under there. But I want like 60.5, maybe 61 to bet an under on that total. What we got here? Nice. Sweet. All right. Apologies. Need to check this email real fast. Oh. Cool. It says Bud loves Adderall. I do not. I actually love Adderall. I'm not a big Adderall guy. Cool. Let's go ahead and get to the next game, which is going to be Middle Tennessee State and Liberty. I think this is a game a lot of people are going to have bets on because the power numbers for Middle Tennessee State and Liberty are just all over the board. Wow, Ball State, Western Michigan, at some of the offshores, they dropped a 55 on the total. That's not really something I expected to see, but I also don't really want that either. It's lower than I expected. All right, Middle Tennessee State and Liberty, they dropped 19.5. I can find, what else can I find? I see it 120 out there, so not something I really want to hit at this point. That to me is just going to put an X to signify that I did discuss the game here. Total wise, they made it 58.5, 59. For me, that's a no play as well, right? 54, 64, not something that I really feel like hitting at this time. 54, 64 is kind of that range. I do set a pretty good range, right, of stuff that I want. So anyway, that's just kind of what I'm feeling there. Nice. Austin, nice job. Cool. Let's go. We already did UVA Louisville. We already did Middle Tennessee State Liberty. What about Wyoming and Air Force? Interesting team here. So my number on the game, I basically want to play Air Force something short of a field goal, and I want about a touchdown to bet Wyoming, which means this is a no bet because it looks like it came out at 3.5 and 4. So no play there. However, just wait on it. I do have a play on the total in this game. I want to check one thing here if I can. And we got a lot of people coming out today. This is kind of cool. I don't know if we had this many viewers before. I don't know if you guys are enjoying this. Hopefully you are. Just trying to provide some value for everybody here. Cool. Not seeing that pop yet. Yeah, but there's certainly some stuff here that I want to get into. Sorry, I'm just trying to look up one thing. I'm not seeing it. Also, I have a brisket on today. Pretty cool. I put it on. I got a new Traeger smoker and put it on last night before we hopped on the Cover 3 Live podcast. By the way, Cover 3 will be live tomorrow. It's Monday at 3:00 Eastern. I am live Tuesday, generally kind of like lunch break for a little lunch break hangout. The Wednesday show is not live. The Thursday show is live 11 Eastern, and of course we don't do a show on Fridays. And then the Saturday night show is live basically when like the 7:30 game gets out of hand. So and after everybody gets done with all their writing stuff. So generally kind of like 7:30 or like 11:30, 11:45 ish, Awesome. Excuse me here. Did we bash Iowa in Cover 3? No. No, I I think I said Iowa was doing much better and actually trusted their offense more than I did, or more than I used to. All right, here's one for you that I just feel like you gotta take a shot on, right? And this is the game that I really want to play. I am taking Troy minus the 2.5. That's Troy minus 2.5 here. Um, I think this is actually good to like 5. So obviously, I've been on Troy almost every single week. I like Troy. I think Troy's a good team, and I think their defense is something you really trust. I don't really trust Georgia Southern. I'm sure there's something I'm missing with Troy, but there's 2.5s out there with Troy right now. FanDuel has 2.5. Circa has 2.5. I'm on Troy again. Screw it. Give me Troy. Okay, I'm just wasting more of my money on Troy because Chip Lindsey's team never, ever scores, which is annoying, but it is what it is. So waiting on another thing to drop here. All right. Well, by the way, for those of you who hang out in the offshore market, they just dropped UVA plus the 3. We already said that's a bet. If you're just joining the chat, UVA plus the 3 minus $1.05 is available at the offshores. If you know, you know. We'll see what they hang for a total there. Oh, I forgot to put the spreadsheet up today of all the market moves we got, but I do think I can do that later if you guys want to. As far as percentages, like the percentage of markets that moved in our favor or numbers that moved in our favor this week are roughly the same as what went against us, or excuse me, as not what went against us, but roughly the same as prior weeks. We did have a couple bad beats. I think one kind of lucky beat, but I would say if you look at like the win expectancy and the projected game score that's out there, I think College Football Data has one of those. Obviously, my friend Bill Connolly has one of those. If you look at those, I think I was like 4 to the bad beat side and 3 to the. By the way, 64 out there just got hung in Louisville, Virginia. I'm already in the 65.5, but if you want to take some of that, I think that's going to be worth your time. I really like that. I think that game's going to have like 70 something points in it. Virginia's defense sucks. Virginia's offense can really score. They're getting a really good tight end back this week, I expect. So yeah. Yeah, that's already moving. Okay. And here's the other one I wanted to play, as I mentioned. Go ahead and get our best number on this. I'm going to play under 50.5 in Wyoming and Troy. Under 50.5, Wyoming, Troy. I think that's honestly good to about 47. So got a couple more points to bet that. I expect Wyoming's run defense to be better in this game. So, yeah. Did I already talk about Iowa Penn State? I did. Obviously, like the scroll along the bottom says, I will timestamp this later. But we want to reward the people who actually watch us live because, I mean, y'all are the ones who are probably moving some lines and annoying some professional groups out there who probably don't want you to move these lines quite as fast as you do, and then they have to pump fake it and come back over the top and generally just cause all kinds of headaches. So anyway, for me, I get a good laugh out of that. All right, let's go ahead and discuss what's next on the sheet. But yeah, I didn't want anything in the what you call it as far as the total for Iowa Penn State, but I did take Penn State plus 3. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here. What's next to pop on the offshores? Boise BYU, I would think. This is an interesting one because we don't actually know who's going to play quarterback for BYU. Did you guys watch that BYU game? So Hall, the starting quarterback, was out, and then Romney got knocked out right before the half, and they put this kid named Conover in. And I obviously do recruiting, so I know most of these kids, but I'd never heard of this Conover kid, and he was not very good. And I had a game, like I played that game over. It was dead over, and it ended up just crashing to the under. Now, if you follow me in my Bud's Bets column, I dropped the live bets in there. I don't include the live bets in this record here. I keep them in a separate record because I don't feel it's really fair because not everybody has access to it. But if you're somebody who's on 24/7 Sports and you want to watch me do the live betting, obviously we can. You can follow along there. But we were hammering that under in that BYU Utah State game on the live lines. Excuse me. Yeah. What did I say? I misspoke. Wyoming Air Force is the under there. Apologies, y'all. All right. So Boise State BYU. Boise State got beat in that game. I'm still gonna take Boise State here and just play off the quarterback uncertainty. If Hall's back, Hall's back. But Boise State plus 3.5 for me. It's something I'm going to fire on. I'm not going to go nuts firing on that. As far as I can tell, that's something that looks like it's already got bet a little bit. But man, I just don't know why. Like, why are we favoring BYU when BYU couldn't move the ball at all with the two quarterbacks? Like, do we know if Romney's going to be out of concussion protocol? And if he is back, what does this number jump to? Like, I'd rather be on the right side of that 3 with that Boise plus 3.5 than be on the wrong side of it, right? Like, if one of their quarterbacks are announced as in, then okay, that's fine. All right. Next one I'm interested in talking about here. I'm going to bet this. I'm going to lose, and it's just I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it. I got to trust the numbers here. Go ahead and give me. I can't believe. Am I really going to do this? Very annoying. Screw it. Go ahead and give me Marshall minus 19 at plus 100. There's also some 18s out there at like minus 110. 18 to 19 is a relatively dead number. I don't love it, but I am going to go ahead and take it because my numbers say to bet anything under 20. So screw it. You can give me that one. We'll see. Yeah. People want to know in the chat, why can't I discuss specific officer or books? Just company policy. So, publicly I can't do that. If you want to shoot me a DM on Twitter, I'm sure I could. We could have a chat about different options if you happen to live in a different area or something. We could certainly discuss that. All right, this thing is still going pretty strong, and we have some more games coming up. So let's go ahead and get ready for. Let's take a look at San Jose State, Colorado State. This is an interesting one to me, and it's something that I know I want to play, assuming the number stays kind of where it is. I'm going to look here for a couple more books to pop out with this, and they are out right now. So, and this is a bet I actually like quite a bit. I'm going to play over 44.5 in San Jose State, Colorado State. And something here. I'm obviously at some of these offshores, the limits are low, but you can repop this every like 30 seconds. So that's what I will be doing, most likely. Cool. Yeah, so I like over 44.5 there quite a bit. I made that game 52, and that's accounting for the fact that the quarterback might be out for San Jose State. Colorado State is not great, but ultimately San Jose State's defense sucks, and San Jose State will continue to chuck the ball around and score. And I just think 44.5 is a good buy point here. So Give me that over 44.5 in San Jose State and Colorado State. I expect they will score and score plenty. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something there. I know some people. Maybe is there weather in that game that I'm missing? Like this far out, it's not obvious to me that there is. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look here at the next one, which is USC Utah. Did you guys do anything with this? I think Utah is worth a look, but it's not something that I'm rushing to take right now. I'm interested to see if this will move a little bit. It's sitting 4 at some spots. It's also sitting 3.5 at some spots, but it looks like it's actually moving a little bit. Did any of you guys play Utah or USC? My numbers do say Utah is a side to play here, but if I take it, I'm going to be fairly light on it. It's not going to be something I crush. And granted, crush is relative. Like I don't want to come off like I'm some like huge sports bettor, you know. But yeah, I maybe take a nibble with Utah. Cam Rising is certainly playing better than what his name was. So I will go ahead and make Utah +4 in official play. Total wise for me on that game, 47 is there's nothing to be had there, in my opinion. All right, now Oregon State, Washington State. This is one for me that I'm actually going to be betting, and I don't know why. I don't get it, but I'm going to take Oregon State minus the 2. I think anything under 3 here is actually pretty good, and yeah, I don't trust Washington State's defense at all. Washington State shutting down Washington is not actually a sign. Or excuse me, Washington State allowing what they did over the weekend and getting shut down on Cal is not really that impressive to me because I just don't think they're actually any good on offense. Cal, that is. Sorry, y'all, trying to look at some messages here. UCF definitely lost its starting quarterback. So Christian Suero asked an interesting question in the chat. So do you use a unit system or anything like that for determining your bet amounts? On Sundays and Mondays, no, I just max bet everything because the limit, the bet size, the limits are not that big, right? And if you have an edge, just pound it. Later on in the week, like that's what I'm saying. Like it's not something that I want to come back and add a whole lot more to. But on Sundays, I mean, I'm not going to take a couple hours out of my Sunday to make numbers and do a show and not fire hard and have people that work with me fire hard. So, yeah. But obviously, you should bet relative to how big your edge is while still trying to regress your numbers to the market throughout the week. All right. South Carolina and Tennessee. This thing is an interesting number here. Came out, and I actually think that this is something where I feel like Tennessee is the bet to make here, but I'm not like totally in love with it, and I'm gonna, man, I don't know, like South Carolina's defense is not that bad. Like it's not great, but it's really not that bad. It is open now. Oh, here's what I'm playing: TCU as a pick'em at Texas Tech. I TCU pick'em at Texas Tech. I think TCU should be favored by 3 here. So I do like that quite a bit. And over under in that game, 63.5. I will go ahead and play the under 63.5 in that one. 63.5 in TCU and Texas Tech. I think that's good, by the way, to 61.5. And like I said, TCU at anything under a field goal, in my opinion, is certainly worth a look. Is this the second good offense that? Well, I guess Kentucky's a decent offense, and they played them pretty well. Tennessee's run defense is okay, but the The one huge D tackle they have is out, I know. So we'll see about that. Under on a Big 12 game. Hey, look, I bet TCU under last week. TCU is a tempo team. A slow tempo team. TCU does not play fast. Anyway, that's my take on that. They don't play very fast. I don't really trust Texas Tech. I think West Virginia just absolutely screwed around there in that game. All right, SMU and Navy. 14 and a half out there. That's going to be a no bet for me. Over under is 57, 58. Nothing there. If that really gets bet up, I would consider an under at 61. So if I can find a 61, I will go under there for the 61. But other than that, nothing for me on that one. Yeah, TCU, Texas Tech. We will see if anybody is jumping on that with me. Looks like not a lot of people are showing value because people are not really joining me with that, and that's really not moving too much. Wyoming Air Force did move a little bit. Just checking to see some stuff that we hit here. Oh, here's one that just dropped, and one that I will be hitting. Don't tell my wife because she's an LSU fan. I am taking Kentucky minus the 3, minus 114 over LSU. Now look, LSU's run defense is hot garbage. It is really, really, really bad, right? They don't run the ball very well. I expect that Kentucky probably will stop the pass okay. That scares me slightly, obviously, because of what Missouri was able to do to those guys. The other thing in this one, I would consider an over. Like, I'm not going to bet it right this second, but 52 and a half, I do think that they can score. My only real one there that concerns me is, like, what if like LSU just can't get the ball back because Kentucky's just sitting on it. Chris Rodriguez is just going absolutely nuts on those guys. So Kentucky minus 3, minus 114. How many of y'all got that? Obviously, let me know in the chat if you guys are getting these. Let's see here. All right, West Virginia and Baylor is actually up next. Let's go ahead and discuss this because I will have a play on this one, I think, as well, whenever it comes out. Yeah, damn it, that's annoying. See what I can get here. All right, using OddsJam to figure out the best spot to bet. Again, oddsjam.com. This is more if you're like serious about winning money, right? It's not free. If you use my promo code BUDDY21, you can do better with it. But like West Virginia, Baylor, I'm going to go ahead and take, excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and take Baylor minus the 2.5 here. I do show a little bit of value on Baylor. West Virginia, I don't love betting Baylor as a favorite, but West Virginia is just not a team I feel like I can trust right now. They should have destroyed. They should have destroyed them last week. And like, how many guys were out for Texas Tech secondary and they still couldn't handle it? That's annoying. Oh, nice, guys. Congrats on getting the 2.5 there. That's great. Kentucky minus 2.5, minus 128 juice on FanDuel. God, that is good. That is really good. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're paying 14 cents compared to my 114 at minus 3. That's for a game that I think will be a little bit higher scoring. That's not a huge difference. Would I play UK minus 3.5 at minus 120? Probably not. No. And keep in mind that Florida, their post-game win expectancy against Kentucky was pretty damn high, right? So, was pretty low. So it's not like Florida really deserved to lose that game the other night. Like they didn't. All right. Cool. Yeah, I do trust Baylor's defense. Pretty good. So North Texas and Missouri comes out, and this is an interesting one. I actually might consider taking North Texas here if this steams up. I'm going to make myself a little note just based on what it just popped out as. But yeah, North Texas, if I can get over 3 touchdowns against Missouri, North Texas can chuck it around a little bit. That's possible there. Over under came out 68, 66, 67. It looks like across the board. Again, looking for the best price on Odds Jam. We'll see on that. I'm not convinced that doesn't get to 21.5, despite the fact that Missouri lost last weekend. They got rocked by Tennessee, didn't they? Okay, let's discuss this then. So C-Lin says, hey, I disagree. Kentucky will have an emotional letdown from the victory against Florida. I like a bounce back from LSU. Edo is undefeated outside of Bama coming off a loss. Think about LSU money line. I mean, hey, look, the best guys in this business, like the dudes who do this for a living, are going to be at like 60%, right? A little bit less if they play serious volume. And obviously, like even less if they're having to bet, Friday, Saturday type stuff. But man, I don't trust this LSU team. I just don't. I don't think they're good. I've said it all preseason on Cover 3 the entire time. Hey, this run defense is not good. Hey, this run game is not good. They're not physical at the line of scrimmage. It's not your typical LSU team. And I don't think Auburn's anything special. And Auburn was able to win that game and deserve to win the game. Like, you trust this LSU team to get off the mat? I don't. It's not like I think this is the bet of the year candidate, So look, I prefer Kentucky in this spot because of the matchups. Now, the matchup that gets me cooked here and makes me lose is if Kentucky cannot cover LSU, and that's possible. It's certainly possible. All right, guys. So Vanderbilt, 39-point dogs in the swamp. Oh man. I am probably not going to be betting against my former podcast partner here this week. I did not get any of this. I have a guy who puts in some stuff for me at Circa when it opens at 2:00. We've elected not to do the show right at 2:00 because most of y'all don't live in Vegas or in Colorado. But this was good for 2 minutes. It opened at 35 at Circa. And as of 2:02, it changed to 37. Now it's 38. My buy point actually on this is like 37. So if we do see another 37 open up, I would be interested. But ultimately, yeah, just not something I'm looking to play right now. However, I do have another thing that just opened up that I am looking to play. And that is, oh, what the hell? Where'd it go? Damn it, I missed it. Okay, well, I can't take that then. Sorry about that. We already discussed South Alabama, right? We discussed? Yeah, we did. Yeah. For those of you guys out there who are interested in that, wow. Okay. Give me just a second here. Here's another one I am betting right now. I'm going to take and bet Memphis plus 4.5 at minus 105 at Tulsa. Now, look, I totally understand that Memphis had a major letdown game this weekend against Tulsa or against Cincinnati. But ultimately, I don't care. Like, I watched that Tulsa game, and I have a lot of respect for the Houston defense. I think it's one of the better defenses in the American Conference this year. But man, I'm just not. I'm not a believer there. in that Tulsa offense right now. I think it's really kind of bad, actually. So let me see what else. Yeah, Texas State is abysmal. Hey, Kessner, what's going on? See you guys. See you guys in the chat. Yeah, LSU can't tackle. That is correct. They are not a very good tackling team. Here's one that just dropped, actually. Miami, Ohio, and Eastern Michigan. So no play for me. It came out of Pick'em. I basically just want anything north of a field goal on either side because I think there's some pretty serious uncertainty there. If the total drops, then I will probably go ahead and fire an over. Miami, Ohio yesterday. Like the problem is their quarterback Gabbert didn't come back into the game, if I recall. Right. So again, if you guys contribute to the chat thread there that we have each week on Twitter, the injury thread, I'd really appreciate that. That's pretty solid. All right, Wisconsin, Illinois. 43 and a half. Gonna pass on that. If that gets up to 45, which I very much doubt it will, then I will take a look there at that. However, I wonder if this is the weekend that Wisconsin gets right. You know, can they get up off the mat? They don't have Ferguson. Maybe he'll play. Did you guys see the Ferguson injury? Like who knows? You know, Mertz. We'll kind of see. I don't know. But yeah, that's just something to be mindful of there. Look at some other stuff. All right, y'all. We are kind of getting down to the end of this thing. Gonna have to excuse me about that. So Wisconsin fans seem to think they had no chance, and look, I've adjusted Wisconsin down quite a bit, right? So in looking at this, I did a manual adjustment on Wisconsin. Where did I manually adjust them? And I know you might laugh, right, and say, okay, why would you manually adjust Wisconsin down? If Mertz is hurt, Mertz sucks, right? But I still dropped him down 1.5 points in my power ratings, and I dropped the offense down with him and Ferguson out 3 points in my offensive rating. And yet my number still says like it may not be a crazy idea to bet Wisconsin here. I'm just going to wait to see if maybe people really want to go ahead and bet Illinois. But if that hits 7, I'm definitely going to be on that. The alternate way that I would bet this game, and this is probably what I'll end up doing, is trying to find a way to take Illinois team total under. You know, that's a look. I know DraftKings comes out with those pretty early. If you guys have a boy who can, like get Pinnacle, then obviously they have those. I don't want to throw out Pinnacle stuff on here, right? Because I don't know. Does anybody in the chat have access to Penny? Like I don't VPN in there, obviously, but I know some people can. I think if you're in Canada, you can. Or do they not take North America now? Don't even try because Oklahoma, Texas opens up 4.5 and 65.5. So I actually think that there is a good play here. And that play is actually the under 65.5. I think that's worth a shot. Under 65.5 in Oklahoma, Texas. That should move pretty good, I would think. I don't really have a play on the side. I do think Oklahoma's a better football team. Texas was a little bit lucky to win yesterday by the margin that it did. I'm not saying that they were totally lucky to win, but yeah. So Michigan, Nebraska is an interesting one. That thing opened up. It looks like it's basically DraftKings opened this up at 5. Circa opened it up at 1. I think the 5 was something to bet. I'm not going to bet the 3.5 that's out there right now. But Nebraska's been playing a hell of a lot better, and I will have a piece of Nebraska in this game. I will probably be either money line or in the alternate space, which is something I could see hitting potentially. The total is a no play for me right now. But look, Michigan's throw game is not that great. Nebraska's been playing much better. They've had a lot of really hard luck stuff. So Georgia State, Louisiana Monroe. Did I already adjust that? Let me make sure before I fire this. I did. Give me 1 second on this. I'm gonna hold on that until I get confirmation on something. But in any case, I'm just gonna give myself a note here on this one. No, I didn't get anything on that. Okay. Cool. Sweet. Excuse me. Let me get a couple more of these, and I will get right back to you guys. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play Georgia State, Louisiana Monroe over 52. So Georgia State, Louisiana Monroe over 52. This is primarily just a pace play for me. I actually don't think either of these offenses are any good, but both offenses do want to go very fast, and there is value in that, obviously. We already bet Troy, so yeah. You guys know that was something we liked quite a bit. Excuse me here. Georgia Center, Troy, Central Michigan, and Ohio. So Ohio did not look very good yesterday at all, but somehow it got the cover, which is disappointing. Over under 54.5. I have nothing on this game. I think that's probably right. If you gave me a touchdown with Ohio, would I take it? Yeah, probably, but just not something I really want to be betting right now. Arkansas, Mississippi, nothing for me. I think that number is bang on. Take a look at UTEP, Southern Miss. I believe UTEP's quarterback got hurt and then came back into the game. I think it was. So we'll see what happens there. I actually think Southern Miss's defense is fairly salty, and I like Southern Miss here. I'm going to go ahead and bet Southern Miss minus the 2, plus 100. So I don't really like Southern Miss's offense that much at all, but I just don't trust UTEP going on the road as a short favorite. So go ahead and give me the minus 2 at plus 100 for Southern Miss. I had Southern Miss last week, by the way, and lost. So just let you all know. I got them at a good number. I got the plus 3, but yeah. Nebraska's already down to plus 3 in the offshores. That's fine. I mean, like that game will ping around, I would think. I think it'll get above 3 again. If I missed it, I missed it. I wasn't really looking to bet, something under 6. Do we already do Ball State, Western Michigan? We did. That was not something that I wanted to mess with right this second. We already did Arkansas, Mississippi, UTSA, and Western Kentucky. This is a great game. Like, this is one of the games I'm most excited to watch this weekend, right? So Western Kentucky and UTSA. All right, UTSA, Western Kentucky. I I actually think that UTSA can run the ball pretty well against Western Kentucky. Um, but I I do think that Western Kentucky's ability to throw is pretty damn good, man. And so I'm going to go ahead and take UTSA, or excuse me, Western Kentucky, and lay the -2.5 at -1.05. Uh, for me, that's just something getting under the field goal there. I think they can really score. Michigan State's a different beast as far as what they're able to do. I know UTSA will be the quote unquote sharp side, but even the sharp guys lose like 45% of the time. So uh, go ahead and give me that -2.5 there on that one, and that'll be fine for me there. Yeah, and as far as the total in that game, 69. It feels kind of right. If I got like 72, I would take the under, but I'm just not looking to fire on that right this second. And for those of y'all who stuck around, this is pretty solid. Notre Dame, Virginia Tech is now down to a pick 'em. A pick 'em. Pretty interesting there. Total is 47. I don't want anything to do with that game. I will probably play some alt line stuff because I think the dynamic uncertainty of that game is very high. And then UCLA, Arizona pops out 17 and 60. I will absolutely play the over there in that over 60 for UCLA and Arizona. That to me is something that should be closer to like 65, 66. Arizona will play pretty damn fast, and I think the side on that game is pretty bang on. I mean, I'd want north of 3 touchdowns to take Arizona. Obviously, UCLA coming off a difficult loss, so I'm not really looking to do anything. About Florida, we already discussed. Let me see here: South Carolina, Tennessee, all New Mexico. Proud of you guys for sticking with us. 133 viewers still. Georgia State is 50.5 at FanDuel. Grab some. Man, I like that a lot. That's a good get right there. If you like UTSA, go under. If you like Western Kentucky, go over. Yeah, I agree with that. I would agree with that for sure. Yeah, guys, honestly, like some of these numbers are even better if you're finding them at using OddsJam. DraftKings, Sutter Miss, pick 'em. I don't mind the what you call it, the plus 100 there. You know, cool. Yeah, guys, let's get some more likes on this video. Make sure you hit that like, that thumbs up, and we'll get this thing. Can get Virginia Tech +3 on DraftKings. Let me see here. Throw this into OddsJam. Yeah. DraftKings. Caesars, by the way, also has Virginia Tech plus the 3, it looks like. So not a terrible thing to look at there. I mean, Virginia Tech is off a bye in this game. I will go ahead and take the +3 just because I feel like that window is probably gone. So Vatech +3 -110 in for me there. Not too shabby. New Mexico and San Diego State comes out, what is it here? 19, 18.5. We'll see about a total. There is a number here in this one that I actually, if I can get 45, I will fire on an under here, but I'm not going to play the under 44.5. 45 is my buy point for that under. It looks like a couple of these are moving in the way that we wanted them to move. Mexico State, Nevada. Am I? Am I a crazy person here? Like, I'm gonna go ahead and can I even say that anymore? I don't know. Hopefully so. Give me New Mexico State plus 34.5 minus $1.05. Like that's I understand Carson Strong and all that stuff, but guys, like New Mexico State is not that bad. They're bad, but they're not like by far the worst team in the country bad. Nevada's off a huge win. It's an obvious letdown spot for them. Yeah, go ahead and give me that. FSU at North Carolina. Keston thinks the over is a safe bet there. I think they're accounting for that though, right? I mean, I thought about firing over, but North Carolina's offense has been inconsistent this year. FSU can stop the run. FSU does like to play a lot of man. FSU cannot throw the ball at all. We'll see. Anything on Jackson State, Alabama A&M? No, I don't actually do any of my own FCS work. I have a friend who does that, and I'm not going to give his stuff out on the air. Unfortunately, I only want to do stuff that's actually doing my own work here. So let me see. Akron Bowling Green. We already discussed this. It's a big nothing burger right now. Just making sure we didn't miss any games here. We already discussed that we are looking for the 17.5 there with Texas A&M. If it gets to that, which I fully anticipate that it will, that I will be on A&M. We'll just see what happens there using Odds Jam to figure out what the best possible line that we can get here. And I do see some 17.5 minus 118 at Fox Bet, but I'm not going to be popping that just yet because I think I'll be able to get to this price without anything special. Man, a lot of people betting UTEP against me. Okay, that's fine. I trust Southern Miss in that defense at home. I think they're a fairly well coached team. Troy is definitely on the move there as well. Glad we popped that when we did. Anyway, any other games here? We already discussed Georgia State ULM. We discussed Maryland Ohio State. That is moving somewhat. Enough. Looking here for one last check, y'all, and then we will we'll go. Points. No, I can't get any kind of 45 out there on that. I mean, man, under 65.5. I do like in that Texas game. I first of all, I like Oklahoma's defense better than I like TCU's defense, and TCU did a decent job against Texas. So, yeah, San Jose State, Colorado State, we already discussed. We already took the over there in that one. Yeah, I think we just hit or discussed every single game on the board. So I'll write this all up tonight, and we'll throw some timestamps on this. Most likely, I'll do it while I watch the Monday night game. Question in the chat on UTEP under. I get it, but I'm just not looking to fire on that right now. I want something a couple points higher. So. Okay, let's think about some good moves that we got here. Got a couple good moves. All right, from stuff that we bet early on in the chat to now, let's go ahead and recap our moves just real fast. FIU 4.5, now down to 3.5. It looks like at most places. We took Temple plus the 28.5, and that has not done much, just down a half point. Not a whole lot of value there in that. Tulane, Houston has gone way down with the under 64 there. So, yeah, that's not terrible on that move. We took the under 72 on Coastal, and that has only moved about a point. So, a little disappointing there. What else? I guess Houston Tulane's not gone down that much at certain spots. Let's see what it's doing here. Excuse me. All right. Stanford and Arizona State has gone down about a point from the under 53.5. Cincy Temple has gone down about a 1.5 from the under 55. Boise plus the 3.5. Again, no real movement there. Not a ton of movement. So East Carolina, about a 0.5 point in our favor there on that one. Louisiana Monroe has gone up about a point from our over 52. Georgia Tech, Duke, that one has gone up a 1.5. Like I said, I do like that one quite a bit. Georgia Tech has gone up a 0.5 point to 3. Anyway, I'll recap a lot of the movement and whatnot. Good number of wagers in, and pretty excited about it, obviously. And this may be the last week of a ton of value, y'all. My numbers show that typically, like week 6, week 7, it really starts to dry up, and hopefully we're able to continue the winning ways. Really appreciate everybody watching. Make sure you give me that thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. That's pretty cool. It does help our metrics from what they tell me, and really appreciate it, y'all. And we will talk to y'all next time.